In my book, I talk about there being two core virtues in personal development. One is curiosity and one is determination. But no matter how determined we are and how much commitment we have to the things we're working on, there comes a time when you have to let go. I've seen people suffer profoundly because they're not able to do this. Maybe it's because they don't feel like they know how to. Maybe it's because they don't know how to recognize when an ending has arrived. Or maybe it's because they feel like they need permission in order to finally relinquish their grip on something. This might be a relationship or a business or a project or an investment or a friendship or a state of mind, a state of being. There comes a time when we have to let go of things. So in today's short video, I'll be giving you 5 bits of advice about how to let go. I'm not going to be talking about how you know that it's time to let go. That's a much bigger topic. And I'm not going to be talking about how to disentangle yourself from an intense and prolonged situation when you've decided to end it. All I'll be talking about today is what do we need to do in ourselves in order to make it okay to let go of something. As ever, if you find today's video helpful, then please do give it a like. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. So you've reached a point in your life when you know you need to let go of something, but you're struggling to do so. My first piece of advice is that your letting go, your ending, is nobody else's business. Maybe there are other people involved, maybe it is the end of a relationship or the end of a friendship. Maybe you're dissolving a business and there are other people involved in it, and you do need to handle that with grace. But the experience that you're going through is your business. You don't need anyone else's permission to make sense of this. You don't need anyone else to understand how you feel or why you feel that way. You're allowed to feel what it is that you feel. You can do this privately. You can grieve for the ending of things. You can rage about how it didn't work out. And you can come to a very final decision to sever your connection with whatever this thing is. And you don't need anyone else to understand or to know. They are going through their aspect of whatever this ending is, but your ending, your experience of the ending is yours. The second thing we talk about a lot here and in personal development, that the value of conscious attention, conscious compassionate attention, is the most powerful thing in the world. So try to bring your attention to this sense of ending. Try to acknowledge that this is what's happening, that you are struggling to let go, but that an end has come and that it's time to cross that line, to sever your connection and to move on. Bring your attention to it as much as you can, as often as you can, and with as much compassion for yourself as you can. The third thing is to notice and acknowledge the things in you that want to hold on. What is it that you bring with you to this situation which makes it so hard to let go? Is it early life stuff where a sudden ending happened and you don't want that to happen again? Is it your inner child showing up, manifesting and taking control of your adult experience? Is it other life experience that has taught you that endings aren't okay? Why do you need to hold on to this? And again, we're just acknowledging with compassion what's going on inside of us. Normally, the noticing of things is what begins the change. We don't necessarily need to jump straight to action or solve this or make everything better. Maybe it won't be okay for a while, but just begin to notice and acknowledge what in you needs to hold on. What's driving those parts of you? Why do they want to hold on? What does this represent for you? What is it that this is that is bigger than the actual event that's happening right now? Notice, acknowledge, with as much compassion and warmth for yourself as you can. My fourth piece of advice about letting go and endings is to mark the event. Come up with some kind of process, some kind of ritual or ceremony that you can go through which will mark that you are no longer part of whatever it was. Again, this can be a private thing, but if there's anyone you can share it with, that's fantastic. It might be something as grandiose as a fire where you burn objects that were part of that life, or it can be smaller than that. Take yourself off somewhere for a few days and allow the journey there and the time spent there and coming back to be a transition experience for you. A rite of passage, a movement between a chapter where you were involved in whatever this thing is and the time when you're not. So mark this change and acknowledge the significance that it has through an actual physical act. And my final piece of advice about endings is to grieve and allow space for grieving. Grieving doesn't have to be giving someone else power. If you were a part of an uncomfortable or even abusive relationship and you've let it go, grieving for that isn't grieving for that person or saying that they were okay. Grieving for a lost job or the security that came with that. Grieving for a friendship that had very much run its course. Grieving doesn't mean that you regret your decision, and it doesn't mean that you yearn to get back there. It's simply an acknowledgement that so much of you was bound up with that. You were invested. It mattered profoundly to you. If it didn't, you probably would not find it difficult to let go. So allow there to be space in your life for grieving. You can do this through setting aside time in your life to reflect on it and to feel the processes that are going on under the surface. You can journal about it. You can find someone to talk to about it. But simply make space for the grieving. Allow it to exist, acknowledge that it does exist, and give it the time that it needs. Grief comes in waves, often unexpectedly, and it lasts as long as it lasts. So allow yourself to grieve, not for the thing itself or for the people involved. Allow yourself to grieve for the attachment that you had, for the significance that it had in your life, for the emotional real estate that was taken up inside of you by this important thing in your life. Allow yourself some time to grieve. And that's the end of today's short video. I just wanted to cover a few important things, a few little bits of key advice for those who are struggling to let go of things that they know have come to an end. I hope that's been useful for you. If it was, then please remember to give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, because that way you'll see all the rest of the content that I'm releasing. And if this was helpful, or if it wasn't, or if you'd like me to talk about something, one particular aspect of it further, then please leave a comment. That's really important. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.